What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. So I want to look at a bunch of different kinds of utility knives. And actually my good buddy Mr. Josh Mormon, he bought me two. He bought me two blades and he's like, dude, you have got to check these out. These are really cool blades. So we're going to get into these two. This one is really out there, but it's quite cool. I would say for a painter, this thing is like, this is nice. So first off, like, what is criteria for me personally for a utility knife? So for me, blade storage, number one. It needs to have blade storage. For work, yes. There's nothing worse than climbing up a 40-foot ladder or getting on staging and you get up to the top, pull out your blade, and you're like, crap, I need a new blade. And you gotta climb all the way back down. So blade storage is a must. And I want to be able to bear down on this knife hard and not have the blade either pop out or push in. And also, blade slop. This might not be a huge thing for most people, but this drives me nuts. I don't know why, it does. So there's many different designs out there. You know, you have the old solid body design like this. You know, nothing special. The problem is, what do you do with the blade that's sticking out? Well, then they actually made retractable ones of these, right? I see a lot of companies are getting away from this retractable design, and there's a reason for it. It's trash. It doesn't work. They get gummed up, and then if you push too hard on the blade, it'll pop back in or pop out. You know what I mean? This DeWalt one, you know, it had blade storage. Plus, you know, it was kind of a two-step process. You had to bring the blade in, fold it down. There's no button. It's like a pocket knife with the little lever inside. But the blade slop on this thing is horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. It's I don't know, it kind of feels cheap. Belt clip is kind of crappy. And then Milwaukee came out with a similar design, and I would say these two knives are about the same age. Like, these came out around the same time. So obviously there's newer versions, I would say, of both of these. Which I have the newer version of the Milwaukee. This is the Milwaukee Fastback, the OG. And blade slop is, it's pretty horrendous. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty horrendous on the OG. And look at that. A lot of slop there too. But this had a really nice belt clip. This is probably the best belt clip in the game. But you can see Milwaukee got away from the retractable thing. It just folds. Quite nice. Has blade storage, has a magnet so the blades won't fall out even if you only have one or two in there. It was a good start, right? The only problems were, and I don't know why it locks like this. It locks at a 45-degree angle for whatever reason and then locks straight. But you can see where the button is. There's nothing guarding that button, so you put your thumb on there and there's a good chance that you might hit that button by accident and the blade pop out. And also, I noticed that with this OG model, you can open the blade storage with the blade closed. Just an observation. The new one, this is the new Milwaukee Fastback. You can see it's been like streamlined a little bit. They kind of, you know, made a little bit better design. It's a little bit thinner. It's got a crappier belt clip than the OG, but you know, whatever. Yeah, I really like this the old belt clip. But you cannot open blade storage unless you open the blade. And see that? I only have 2 razor blades in there. And there's a magnet that holds them from falling out, which is kind of cool. But I think they do that so that when it's closed and it's in your bag, if for whatever reason it did pop open, the razor blades wouldn't spill out everywhere, which is kind of cool. And you'll notice that they actually put the button was on this side on the OG. They put it on the other side, and they actually put a guard. There's a little guard there at the top, so that if you got your thumb up here like this and you're bearing down on it, you're not going to by accidentally push that button and have the blade pop out. Zero slop there. It's minimal. That's not bad for blade slop. I'm expecting some, but that's not terrible. So overall, you know, so far, I think this is a really tough knife to beat. Just for your, like, for most people, for most trades, this is a cool design. Works really well. I have 3 of these. This one's brand new. I bought it just so I could compare, because my other 2 are... Josh, you have one, and the other one's at work. So I went out and bought one just so I could kind of compare with these guys. And I got this one for free in the pack. But it's plastic, no blade storage, kind of crappy. This might be like an everyday carry kind of thing, just something that you have on you. It's small, it's stealthy, you know, whatever. And then these little bit bigger ones with blade storage, these are for work. But check this out. So Mr. Josh Moorman bought me this and this. And these are Lowe's products. And I never even thought of checking out Fiskars, because I thought Fiskars was like lawn and garden or something. But let's check it out. So this thing splays open like a butterfly. Blade storage, must, 4 there, 1 in the chamber. And you can see here, this thing has a little nub right there and a little nub right there. Also has a little magnet so that when you're changing the blade, it will stay. But those 2 nubs, when you close the knife, the 2 nubs interlock. So there's no way in hell that blade is popping out of there. And check this out. We close it down. Instead of a screwdriver, it's a nice big thumb screw. You can close it. Look at this. There's not nothing. There's no slop. There's no way this blade is popping out of this. But the problem is, how do you put this like in your tool bag? Well, they put a button on the side. And they put a blade guard. Are you kidding me? That is cool. That is really cool. No belt clip, but that doesn't matter. I know exactly where this is going. So when I have this in my framing rig with all little tool like pouches, because it's short, it slides down to the bottom and it becomes very difficult to dig it out. Well, this is nice and long. So this will actually stick up enough that I can grab it. So I have a pouch just for this in my tool belt. And let's be honest, these big size ones, they are much more comfortable in the hand to grab. Because they're big and round, they conform to your hand. It's got a big rubber pad on the top. These little ones are kind of sharp, they got sharp corners. You know, they're not as nice in the hand. Especially if you're going to be bearing down on it, like trying to score aluminum or something, you know what I mean? And this one, you can do the same thing as the other ones, a little flick of the wrist, open and closed. Yeah, this thing is this is really nice quality too. Fiskars Pro. So, I mean, this thing passes the test with flying colors to me. It has blade storage. You know, there's zero slop in the blade. And that blade is not coming out of there. I don't care what you do. That blade will snap before it comes out of there. And, I mean, I guess blade depth could be something. Because if you look at the DeWalt, You see the difference in blade depth there? You can actually see the corner of the blade sticking out of this Fiskars. You could get a deep, deep cut with that. I mean, just look at the blade, the actual blade itself. You see the difference, how much more cutting surface there is on the Fiskars? So, I wanted to compare it to the Milwaukee. And I'm like, oh, the Fiskars is going to have more. No. The Milwaukee actually has slightly more cutting blade. Yeah, see? The Milwaukee is, the point of it is bottoming out. And there's still just a tiny, tiny bit. So, but they're really, really close in depth of cut. And, yeah, blade surface showing. But the Milwaukee one has the slimmest profile around the blade so that you can really get into tight places. This one's pretty good too. The DeWalt, not so much. But check this thing out. This, as a utility knife, is dog shit. Dog shit! But this is not really a utility knife. This is a scraper before it is a utility knife. Get the hell out of here. Look at that. That is quite cool. I say, for a painter, this is freaking cool, man. It's got a little bottle opener. Not that it matters, not that anyone actually uses it, but I could see you got paint on glass, and you gotta go in there and score the paint, and then you can flip it back, and then go in there and scrape it, and you have points, you have corners. So it's got this little button, push it all the way up, and it flips the blade. Push it to there, and flip it back. That's kind of cool. But you have to buy their blades. Tough built. You have to buy tough built utility blades. So you can see that the blades have a little ingot shape cut out in the middle of the blade. That is so that when you flip the blade like this, it has something to grab onto to hold it. Blade slop is, there's a little bit, but it's not as bad as the DeWalt. Little blade slop. But again, yeah, there's no blade storage or anything, but this is going to replace that little crappy square scraper thing that I have, that every time that you push down on it too hard, it pops back into the tool. This isn't popping back into the tool. There's no way. Quite cool. Lowe's product, again, if you're looking for something like this. Tough built. Scraper utility knife. I think the guys at work are going to get a kick out of this thing. It's pretty easy to change the blade. You just kind of push the lever, pull it out. Ingot shape. Push it back in. It snaps in. Good to go. And it comes with some blades. When you buy the tool, I think they give you like 5 plus one in the chamber, something like that. But yeah, anyways, thank you, Mr. Josh. Appreciate it. This thing is sick. This is a really nice knife. This is a worker's knife right here. But yeah, anyways, that's it for this one. Make sure you subscribe. See you later. So this old bird wants to take our rights away. And just took a steaming dump on my desk. But we won't stand for it, will we, Nancy? No, no, no. Bad Nancy.